You know, one of the issues here in the upper Midwest in the winter months is dry skin, dry indoor environment, static electricity. I know in my house I have a lot of wood floors.
Sure.
They start to shrink up. So obviously relative humidity comes into play when we're talking about indoor air quality, indoor air comfort. What are the options for a homeowner as far as adding humidity in the winter months?
Central humidification is key to that, so that you're not just doing spot humidification. What we have here are two examples. This is a fan powered, which would mount onto the discharge side of a furnace. It would provide water through a pad to be evaporated to provide humidification into the airstream to again keep the moisture level up so you don't have the static shocks, the dry skin, nor have the problem of your hardwood floor shrinking to where you're noticing the cracks expand. That seems to be a big issue right now with the amount of wood floors that are out there in the marketplace.
What about controlling the humidity level? I mean, you could put one of these on. Is it challenging for the homeowner? I know in the past some people were a little intimidated by the system that was in place.
Yeah, it used to be they were hidden, people forgot about them. Today with the new upgraded electronic control systems, it's all automated. You can pretty much determine what humidification level you want, and then it will self-adjust. As the outdoor temperature gets colder out, it will reset the humidity level to help maintain the appropriate humidity without creating too much so you have excess moisture on your windows. This will prevent that. And that's usually when people forgot or remembered that they had to readjust their set points.
Sure.
They'd see moisture on the windows in the morning and say, oh, what do I do? Then they'd have to adjust it. This will self-compensate.
And at the end of the day, we're talking about indoor air comfort here. You want to have a nice, comfortable environment, but the last thing you want to do is worry about if you have it set correctly. So again, the advancements in the industry have made it easier and more efficient for the homeowner to enjoy all these benefits. As I look at this, you said there's a fan in this one. Obviously, it's connected to power, blows through as the water's draining down the pad. What about this one over here? This looks to be a little different.
This style's a little bit simpler, doesn't take the high voltage that the fan power does, and it's what's known as a bypass style. So it actually short circuits air from the supply duct to the return duct, in turn doing the same process, still running water over a pad, and then you have evaporization taking place to put the humidity into the airstream.
Okay, once it's hooked up, anything special that the contractor or the homeowner needs to be aware of?
Big thing is that pad we just looked at, that is going to be a maintenance item where annually is typical replacement intervals for that. So once a year, plop in a new one. What will happen is the hard water deposits will eventually collect on that to where it's inoperable. Then it needs to be replaced. The amount of hardness in their water determines how much they're going to actually have to replace that.
Yeah, and along those lines, probably a good idea to connect it to a water softener if you have one there.
Exactly. Water softener, also tying it on to the hot water side to give you a little bit enhanced moisture vaporization taking place.
Sure, makes sense to me. Okay, also here in the upper Midwest, we deal with high relative humidity in the summer months. So conversely to adding relative humidity, what about whole house dehumidification? We're all familiar with dehumidifiers, the little room ones, but those can be a real pain just from capacity standpoint.
Yeah. The little room ones are neat. The bad part is there's maintenance. You typically are going to have to go down there and empty the bucket. They only do a small area. What they have now created is whole home dehumidification, which actually connects via ductwork into your air system. So rather than just pulling moisture out of the basement, you're pulling moisture out of the entire structure, which is good. So you're going to be balanced. It'll have a higher moisture removal capacity, which is wonderful because it's going to take more gallons per day out of your air than what the typical little ones would do. And that's going to save you money in the long run because it's going to be able to accommodate it faster so it doesn't have to run as much.
What a great system. And you're not going to have to worry about emptying it. This is going to be tied right into a drain, so it's just going to be working as needed.
Yep.
And again, it's going to not do just one room or the basement. It's tied into all your ductwork, so the entire house is going to be comfortable, less humid. And I know, as we've touched on in the past with central air conditioning, that removes some relative humidity, but there's no substitute for whole house dehumidification.
Exactly. The other thing with these, there's a little bit of maintenance to the homeowner. There's a filter that has to be removed, cleaned, and put back in place. So it's very easy for the homeowner to contend with, and that's going to continue the efficiency of it to be maintained at a higher level.